Hello, hello. So today I had some thoughts about life roles and where we pick up our ideas, like these preconceived notions about what our roles in life need to be and how the life should look based on those roles. So, very specific example where this is coming from is I was talking to someone about being a mother, and there's a very specific belief system around what it meant to be a mother and how the mother showed up for the family. And it was, as a mother, you, I don't want to say do everything for your family, but family comes first. That was essentially the mantra. Family comes first. And I know this is kind of the case for a lot of women, because I know I've been in this boat even though I don't have children. I've been in the boat where, you put others first because we have these labels of people pleasing. We put others first because we want everyone to be happy. But sometimes we end up letting ourselves slip, or putting others first to a fault, so to speak, and we don't give ourselves the attention that we need and deserve. So this woman had a kind of the thought that family comes first and family always needs to do things together. The mother, I don't want to say the mother is the center of the family, but the mother, like, was a very, very important piece, as most families. So this became an issue because the mother was not taking care of herself and her health was slipping. And in her particular case, she wanted to lose weight because she wanted to feel better, but she wanted to, I think, just want her kids to be more proud of her. She wanted herself to be more proud of her. Also her husband, like no one was unhappy, but they knew that she was not at her 100% best. So listening to her talk about what she wanted for her life, what she wanted about wanted for her family, it was very, very clear the belief system that she had around being a woman, being a mother, the role of kind of motherhood in society, like what that looks like, what it should be like, what it could be like, and then what all of the family members had like as roles. But it was very specific about, the mother does ... and it was just very specific. So I started thinking about, okay, well, there seem to be some very specific beliefs around what a mother could do or should do. And specifically for her, it was, she felt that she would be selfish if she took time for herself to focus on her health. And I know I've talked about kind of thinking about the positives when you work on yourself, or when you make a change, when you lose weight. What are the things you gain when you lose the weight? What are the things you gain when you make that change? Or when you substitute something out, an old thing with a new thing, or let something old go to create something new. So it was very clear that she had some beliefs about what a mother should be, how the mother should show up, the role of motherhood, the family dynamics, and she thought that it was selfish to focus on herself and focus on her health. In my mind, I was thinking, okay, well, I understand that because you're taking time away from the family unit as a whole. And if you think that the family time and the family unit is what's most important, then any time away from that, then yeah, it's gonna take a hit. But she wasn't thinking about the things that she would gain if she took some time away from the family to focus on herself, and like not even months and months and months, potentially like an hour a day. So starting off just by like exercising or, going on a walk or taking some me time. And aside from kind of the belief about this would be considered selfish, I also started to think about, well, where did this come from? How did her belief system actually get created? And I, went off. My mind just went off. I'm like, okay, well, did her mother believe this? Did her grandmother believe this? Did the father believe this? Like, who perpetuated these patterns? How did this start? So I immediately went to, how did this start? How many lifetimes has this existed? What is the influence on the rest of the family members? So how are her kids impacted? How is her husband impacted? If she's not taking the time for herself, are they losing out on a better version of mom that they could be getting? And how's the mindset getting in the way of that, of the entire family unit's experience? So it really got me to think about how we have these preconceived notions about a role, whether it's a mother, a father, a daughter, a son, a grandmother, a wife, a husband. Like, we have these thoughts and beliefs and deeply held belief systems and constructs, like societal constructs in some instances, and cultural norms that we live by, and society sometimes doesn't like when we stray from, when we challenge these things. Where do these things come from, and how does that influence our day-to-day? How does that influence our lives? How does that influence how we think about the world? And if we really were to separate self from these belief systems or this programming or, the cultural norms, like whatever you want to call it, if we were to separate that from this, the societal things, what would we actually believe? Would our behavior change? Would our thoughts change? Would our experience change? So this woman wanted to lose weight, and ultimately it was for her health, but it was to have a better experience with her family. The children did want her to be happy. And I think a lot of what we don't realize is the people around us really do want us to be happy. And we hold ourselves back because the voice in our head says, oh, it's selfish if I take the time away from this relationship to focus on myself and to make myself happier. It is, this person might think I don't like them if I take time for this instead of that. They, won't accept me or like me if I say no instead of yes, like I normally do. If I don't play this role that I've built up for myself, then I won't be accepted or liked or, what have you. So I've been thinking about, like I said, where do these roles come from and who said they have to be right? Like, why can't we break free from that and just live more kind of in flow with what feels good, but also being willing to explore? I have this belief about what it means to be a mother. I have this belief about what it means to have a family in a unit and to spend time together. Where does that come from? I don't know if I've told this story or not, but it's not a personal story. It's just a story that I've heard. So, but it's very relevant to kind of why we believe what we believe. So a woman is making holiday dinner. She puts the ham kind of out on the counter. to prepare it, she cuts off the end of the ham and then puts it in the what do you call it? The roasting pan, and puts it in the oven. The husband says, "You cut off the ends of the ham. Why do you do that?" And the wife responds, "Oh, I don't know. That's just the recipe." So the husband's like, "Huh, that's interesting. We've got plenty of room in the pan. Like, why would you do that? Let's call your mother. Let's see if she knows." So they get on the phone with her mother. She said, "Hey, how you doing? Yeah, we're in her cooking. So-and-so, she just cuts off the end of the ham. I've seen her do it before. I don't understand why. Could you let me know?" She said it's part of the recipe. And the mother says, "Yeah, it's part of the recipe. It's just what we do." So the guy is still puzzled. He's like, "I haven't gotten an answer yet." So Grandma's still alive. They get on the phone with Grandma and say, "Hey, Grandma, how are you? We're cooking dinner. We're, getting ready for everyone to come over. We're excited to see everyone. But we've got a question. My wife here, she's cooking dinner. It smells amazing. She's making your ham. She's cutting off the ends of the ham. I don't understand why. Like, can you tell us why that's part of the recipe?" And Grandma says, "Well, that's not part of the recipe. I didn't have a big enough pan when I first, when my husband and I first got married. So I had to cut off the ends of the ham to make the ham fit into the pan." So it had absolutely nothing to do with the recipe, but Mom saw Grandma do it, and then daughter saw Mom do it, so therefore that's just the way it was done. So we see these things as, oh, that's just the way it's done, but we don't question or think twice about why we're doing what we're doing, or why we believe what we're why we believe what we're believing. So going back to this woman and her weight loss in her family, she saw eventually that it was going to take her shifting her mindset around what it meant to be a mother, and that it was not actually selfish for her to take time for herself, that her family really wanted her to just be happy. And if it was weight loss, if it was taking more time for herself, if it was shifting some things, everyone was willing to do it because they wanted Mom to be happy. And in turn, she was able to create the kind of support system, the environment she needed to start making that change. But it took being willing to be like, you know what? I think it's selfish if I do this. This is like, I believe my family always needs to be together and we need to do everything together. This is my belief, and I see how it's getting in the way of what I ultimately want, which is to be happy and healthy and spend more time. But it's going to take me stepping back a little bit in order for that to happen. And that's kind of all you want, is to ask why and to kind of dig a little deeper into how the person is thinking, because you can poke a little bit, you can ask some questions, and then the spark can now happen because you're ready to make the change, because you see, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, okay, this is how I was thinking, but that's actually counter to what I want my experience to be. So I'm thinking about roles in society and how all of that stuff comes into play and why we do certain things. And I would invite you to do the same.